Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa McAllister, and you're listening to the Melissa M.A.D.E Show. Now, for decades, I've dedicated myself to helping women break the cycle of dieting, navigate through all the fads, and change their lives through my nutrition coaching. Now, each week, I'm going to talk about everything from deep nutrition, mindset, self-care, the ideal workout routine, tips on how and why to implement intermittent fasting in your life, my favorite recipes that are not only crowd pleasers, but they're actually healthy for you, and so much more. Now, with small and consistent changes, you can defy aging while living a happier, healthier, and more heart-filled life. I'm so excited to show you it's possible with the right strategies that are so simple to adopt. Well, I feel like I should start this off by saying bonjour, because I just got back from France yesterday. Not feeling too much jet lag, but one of the questions that already have come into my messaging was, how do you enjoy and indulge on vacation without feeling guilty? And, I got that question quite a few times, and I was answering it individually. And I thought, you know what? I probably, while it's fresh in my head, I should make a podcast about, not feeling guilty when it comes to enjoying a vacation, or even just a night out, or a staycation, or a weekend of family or friends. How do you not feel that sense of guilt when you're not on point with your typical healthy lifestyle? And I do want to preface this by saying this is, I actually had to sit and think about this, and I came up with 3 quick tips, but I want you to understand that these are things that are just that work for me. They may not work for you. They may be your saving grace. And you're like, thank you, Melissa. This is what I needed to hear. But then you also might be like, you know what? This isn't really for me. But just to keep this podcast very short, and because it's fresh in my mind, I wanted to share with you how I was able to come back from a trip where we went to Paris and Champagne, France, where we drank our body weight in champagne. How I come home the next day not feeling 1 ounce of guilt. I don't feel there's nothing. And so why do I feel okay knowing that, my poor little liver is probably going, what did you do to me? I'm just kidding. Can't do that much damage in 1 week. But here are my 3 tips. And the first one I want to share with you is, so when you normally go out to eat, this could be you going to Mexico, you're going to France, you're going to the Maldives. It doesn't matter where you go. The meals are always usually the same, right? They will start off by putting something in front of you, like a bread basket or something like that. And then you have your main course, and then you have the option to have dessert. And then there's always the option of having alcohol. So for me personally, when it comes to having all of those options in front of me, I usually kind of choose. You can choose to eliminate maybe one of them. You can choose to eliminate a couple of them. And each day might be a little bit different. But say, for instance, you're going out to eat and this food, and that the bread basket isn't really that good anyway. So you're like, instantly, you're like, okay, I'm just going to make the commitment. I'm not going to reach for that bread basket in the beginning. Or you choose between having the alcohol or having the dessert. Maybe you can have a drink or two, and one of your friends is going to get dessert, and you just ask real kindly, can I have 1 bite? If you want to end your meal with something sweet, but choose between the bread basket that comes first, or the alcohol, or the dessert. Of course, always have the entree, and make sure it's a nice high protein entree, and enjoy it, savor it. But I would really suggest that you choose between those 3 things. The second one is to really stay active. So let's be honest, probably the worst thing that you can do on a trip, let's say a cruise or going to Mexico, is to lounge by the pool, because on a cruise, it's free and all inclusive. On a Mexican vacation, They're constantly bringing you drinks, especially if you have those frozen sugary drinks and you're sitting by a pool for 8 hours a day. That might do some damage. So stay active. Make sure you get up in the morning and you go take a walk. When I was in France, I was the only one that got up early, and I went and I took a little hike through the vineyards. It was probably one of the most memorable things I did on that trip, was the quiet time, the view, just soaking it all in. And I got in a lot of steps before we even started our day. So stay active. So if you are in Mexico or you are on a cruise ship and there is a pool, get in the pool and tread water for a while. Try not to be extremely sedentary. Now, you don't have to work out. If you can, or if you want to, fantastic. But take a walk on the beach. Take a walk. If you've been on a cruise, they always have that floor that has that running track. Go put in some earbuds, listen to a fun podcast. Or, your favorite music, and take a nice quick stroll for a little while. Get your body moving. Always take the stairs. That is a huge thing for me when I am traveling. Never take the elevator unless I have my luggage with me. So whether you're on a cruise ship, take the stairs. Whether you're in Mexico, hopefully you're on a nice high floor and you have a great view and you can take the stairs to your room, or anywhere in that matter, wherever you are, take the stairs. And that's another way to remain really active. And I want you to remember too, that portion control is a big deal. So here in Texas, the meals are ginormous and they could feed you twice. So like I said before, when it comes to, choosing between the bread, the alcohol, or the dessert, I also want you to think about the portion of that meal. So when we were in France, the actual entrees were tiny, 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 tiny. And I knew this. And so I would usually have a piece of their amazing bread. Their bread is unmatched. I mean, Germany and France make the best bread. So if you disagree with me, tell me where you think the best bread is. So I would always have at least one piece of bread because I knew my entree was going to be really small. So there are times too, if you know the portions are going to be really small, you can have the bread or you can have the dessert and still not overdo it. But on the flip side, like I said, in Texas, the portion size is twice of what you need. So you can instantly ask for that little carry out bag or box and take half of your food and take it home. And guess what? You don't have to cook the next day. Or you can share an entree with your friend if need be. But I'll tell you, being in the service industry, I always hated it when people shared meals because then I instantly knew, oh, that might mean a small tip. So I still like to order my own meal just for the server's benefit. So they have, a better tip because the price of the meals were more. But I do like to take something home and have it the next. It's so good the next day. And that is really important to keep in mind as well, which will keep you from feeling that guilt. If you're at a place that you can have your dinner, your entree, or you can add more because it's very small. I am telling you, like I got a pork belly and it maybe was 2 ounces of meat, maybe 2 ounces of meat. And then I can't even remember the vegetable, but it was probably 3 bites of vegetable. It was so small. And the bread was there. So I made up with it with the bread. So that'll happen. Always keep in mind that you can have things that normally are off, taboo or off your daily meal plan because you just know the dinner is going to be small and vice versa. And then the last one that I want to share with you is you have to love your routine. So if you go on vacation and you really, for lack of a better word, overdo it and just you come back feeling really guilty and you have a really hard time getting back on track, that is a sign that the lifestyle that you are trying to create at home is just not working for you. Because I know that myself, and I can probably talk for Brianne and Becky both that went with me to France, I 100% come home excited to get back to my routine, excited to do the workouts that I love to do, excited to eat the way that I know makes me feel really good. So If you, number one, overdo it on vacation, that might mean that you're not loving what you're doing beforehand and you feel kind of deprived in some manner, which makes you overdo it when you're out of your routine. And then it also makes it very difficult for you to get back into that routine. That is really, truly a red flag that the routine you're trying to build for yourself, which may be something that you bought online and someone's telling you, this is what you do for fat loss, and it just doesn't fit your lifestyle, then that is a huge red flag that you need to mix it up a little bit. So when you do go on vacation, you don't feel so guilty because you were so off point during that weekend, that night, that, international trip that you took around the world, which was amazing. And I'm here to tell you, so much champagne was poured and drank, so much that you could not pay me enough money right now to pour me a glass of champagne and ask me to drink it. I am so sick of champagne. Never thought I'd say that. And we'll see how long it lasts. It could be just a week. But I've had my fill for sure. So I definitely overdid it, but I also stayed incredibly active. Walked a ton, definitely. I mean, I would say probably anywhere from 12 to 16,000 steps a day. So very, very active. And a lot of the walks I did were more like hikes. And so there was a lot of hill. And in Paris, if you ever walk around, there was a gentleman, this was the funniest thing I ever heard. I believe he's American because he sounded American. And he said, looked at his wife and he says, it doesn't matter which direction you go, it's a hill. It's totally true. If you're standing at a cross section of two roads and you look, it doesn't matter that you're either going uphill or downhill. There is no flat roads in Paris. So you're getting some good quality exercise in by walking around, which is fantastic. Think about your portion controls, okay? And think about all of the things that you're going to be given when you eat: the bread, the alcohol, the main course, could be an appetizer, could be dessert, and really just kind of weigh your options. So say, for instance, you love shrimp cocktail, which is a great appetizer. Shrimp is very low in calories. It's very high in protein, and the cocktail sauce is, minimal. If that is going to keep you from, feeling like you need dessert or that extra drink because it's going to fill you up and you love it, and it's not something you normally have at home, get the appetizer, get an entree. If it's really big, cut it in half, take half home. If it's really small, then feel okay with having that piece of bread or having some dessert or having an extra drink because you're really not overdoing the portion. And then I really want you to also think about it when you go on a trip or you go away or even out to eat. If you feel really guilty because you did overdo it, think about the lifestyle that you're trying to create for yourself that's healthy and is supposed to make you happy. If you come home and you're like having a hard time getting back on it, then I don't think it's truly making you that happy. And so I want to suggest that you reevaluate that and see, the tiny changes that you can make so that when you do go on a trip, you can have a few indulgences here and there, but you're excited to get back to the lifestyle that you have, that healthy lifestyle that you've created for yourself. So just off the top of my brain, the guilt that people are asking me why I don't feel guilty. And those are the reasons. And I hope they're helpful to you. This is another reason, if you listen to the podcast that I talked about, staying healthy while you travel, a lot of what I said is what keeps me from feeling guilty after a trip. If anything, I enjoyed myself to the fullest. I can tell you I had the best time, best memories. I don't feel like I didn't do anything I wanted to do. And I also feel ready today to get back on track and to give my little liver a break and to eat a little bit more quality food. Although I will tell you that the food in France is pretty good quality. And we did have, I had 2 burgers, which are a little different there. But I did have a couple times some French fries, and they were fantastic, which, food for thought, French fries were not invented in France. They were invented in Belgium. Who knew? So anyway, as always, MADE stands for making a difference every day. But I also want you to know that it's important to me that you wake up every day feeling prepared, even on vacation, and then putting your head on that pillow feeling proud. even on vacation. Let's get rid of that guilt, okay? You guys have a great day. Wow, we've reached the end. But before I leave you, I'd love to hear from you. After all, it's not every day that someone reaches out and asks for your opinion. And to me, your opinion does matter. So please share this episode with anyone that you think needs to hear this message. And remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. My name is Melissa McAllister. And until next time, thank you for being your own health advocate.